just to close, and I won't take too long, because we'll have time to chat afterwards also and talk about all these issues that are important to all of us here in Whatcom County. The number one thing when we started out the conversation, I brought up the point of, do you think jobs at BP are good? Do you think jobs at Conoco are good? Do you think the Italco jobs are good? And if you think yes, like I do, then we need to work hard to make sure we're bringing in a fourth industrial industry at the Cherry Point. And that's really what today's about for me, talking about what has to happen at the county level, state level, and the federal level to make that happen so we get those jobs in Whatcom County. We understand when you do a major project like this, there are impacts. You know, we're not naive, we understand, we're adults, but there will be impacts, we have to work to mitigate them. But by getting this facility here, we can mitigate a lot of the negative impacts that already exist. Whether it's crossings through Bellingham and the whistles and when and where they're blowing, we can address that as we work forward on this project. There are issues we'll look at in terms of how we have the best port facility in the world and become the model for what can happen. But one thing you need to have, and November 8th is the election. I'm not going to talk about campaigns and things today because it's not a campaign event, but I can guarantee you that the decisions that are made in February are decided on November 8th. There's just no other way to explain it when it comes to what happens in the world of politics. You can show up, and the number one rule for politics, I'll give it to you quickly, it's much easier to elect somebody who agrees with you than to change the mind of somebody who doesn't. When you go and sit in their office come March and February down there, whether it's the courthouse in Bellingham, or whether it's in Ferndale City Hall, or whether it's down in Olympia. That's why it's so important that we work to get that accomplished. What we're doing here today, and I know Huxley, political science and political, I have my master's degree in political science and environmental policy from up at Western, and you know, because we're environmentalists. And one of the things that we get so nervous about, we say, you know, I support property rights, but I'm an environmentalist too. You know, I want to build a facility, but I'm an environmentalist too. And we are environmentalists. I mean, my kids are here, and we're raising them, and we want to have clean air and clean water. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the pendulum back to center when it comes to property rights in Whatcom County. And we're going to do that through good science. And that's what's crucial. We probably won't be able to afford this guy because he's going to make too much money suing us on stuff to come and work for us, help us fix what's wrong in our system today. But that's what needs to happen. And we can get there. And it's about balance and protection and making sure property rights are protected for individuals and our environment is protected for the future. And really that's what we're talking about today. And that's why I support this project, because I've met with the people who advocate for it, and we know it'll be a good project for our region. It will be a very good project for our region. And working together, we'll get it accomplished. We'll have the best one ever. So I really appreciate you being here. You know, and the key thing about it, this is my one last comment on November 8th. The key thing about voting on November is because after we get past that election, you have the right people in place to make sure we're protecting your rights. On a beautiful day like this, you can be out putting up your duck blind and mowing the lawn and not have to go to the meeting, because you know that you'll have people elected who are going to stand up and keep their word on what they said they're going to do. So I really appreciate you being here, and I'm going to go put my duck blind up as soon as we're done here. And the number one rule for politics, I'll give it to you quickly, it's much easier to elect somebody who agrees with you than to change the mind of somebody who doesn't. Because we're environmentalists. And we are environmentalists. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the pendulum back to center when it comes to property rights in Whatcom County.